Hey, what's up everybody? This is JMO here to make a review for Kaizoku Sentai Gokaiger. And before I go on with this review, I'd like to make a quick shout out to LensCat Productions. Recently he had some health issues, but I just want to say, hope you're feeling better right now, and that you're getting through what you need to go through. And anyone who watches this video, please leave a comment on his channel or something. So yeah, that's it. So anyway, on to the review. An intergalactic empire known as the Zangyak invaded the Earth in great numbers. In great numbers to the point that it took the combined forces of 34 Super Sentai teams to drive them away, but at the cost of their own powers. 3 years later, the Zangyak are back, but this time, a team of space pirates also wanted by the Empire has come to Earth to combat their threat and to find the greatest treasure in the universe. And these pirates are the 35th Super Sentai Task Force, the Gokaigers. Along with their own distinct powers, through special keys in their transforming phones, they can also use the lost powers of the previous Super Sentai teams. Our members consist of the leader, Captain Marvelous, Gokai Red. Next is the swashbuckling Gokai Blue, Joe. Next is the money-loving Luca, Gokai Yellow. We also have the tech expert, the Doc himself, Don, Gokai Green. Then there's the meek and formal I'm, Gokai Pink, and the ultimate Sentai fanboy himself, Gokai Silver, Ikari Guy. I do want to say Gokai Silver the same way that he does, but I just can't. But anyway, I have mostly good things to say about this series, but outside of that quote-unquote mostly, it did have some disappointing elements that I could forgive, I feel for the right reasons. In previous reviews, I have admitted I prefer the circumstantial Super Sentai heroes as opposed to the heroes, by choice. For example, circumstantial, characters like Bioman, Jetman, and then you have in, O-Ranger, and, what was it? Okay, we'll just leave this O-Ranger as the example for, characters who are, heroes by choice. It's their job. But with Gokaiger, it finds a way to blend in, those two archetypes, though it leans more to the circumstantial hero approach. What I like the most about this series is how it fleshes out its characters. You really get to know them, how they join the team, how they're useful to the team, and how without that character, the team would just fall apart. Just certain episodes alone will get you into caring about that central character in certain episodes, and the team as a whole. So I like how everybody's important in some way. Not only are the characters aiding each other, they are also aided by former Super Sentai members who teach them how to use their previous powers and the true meaning behind them. Whichever former Sentai member shows up, you have to see for yourself. But I feel if you're a fan of the previous shows featured in Gokaiger, you can feel how their characters developed since their respective series were ended. Because of this novelty, it's a good fan service treat to Super Sentai fans, and at the same time, also serves as a perfect gateway to the genre. The only downside to this quality is that it will spoil previous Super Sentai shows, especially Jetman and Time Ranger for me. When I saw the Jetman episode, I was only halfway into that respective series, and that episode spoiled Jetman as a whole for me, which I'll admit is my own fault. Then again, I'm sure the children in Japan watching Gokaiger on TV have not seen anything before they were born, so what the hell, huh? When I finished Jetman, I had a better appreciation and understanding of that respective episode, and to Jetman as well. Upon this review, I still have yet to watch Time Ranger, and the Time Ranger as well as Guy's introduction was spoiled for me along with some elements of Aba Ranger, and it probably will spoil some events of G Ranger as well if you get into that episode. Even though I said this series is a great gateway to Super Sentai, for a small number of Super Sentai series, it will be spoiled for you, so if you're really uber anal about spoilers, please don't watch this if you intend to watch other Super Sentai shows. The villains of the Zangyak in particular, I feel are, okay. I admit I have to lower my standards when it comes to using Jetman as my barometer of what makes a quality Sentai series in the villain department. For a force that is supposed to be galactically threatening, Val's Guild, I'm not sure if there's any official English pronunciation, it's just like the katakana saying is Valzugirudo. As just leaving it at that, the character himself is rather childish and rash. I guess his offensive nature does give him some intimidation, but he acts and of course his authority, his position. He acts brash and he's always emotional and overreactive to the point that he doesn't listen to expert advice, and it does get comedic to the point that it's annoying. Then again, I have to take into account that I am watching a family show that is primarily made for children, so I should be more open-minded to these qualities as well, and, you know, why I just can't expect all villains to be like Adolf Hitler or Saddam Hussein or Osama bin Laden. Other than that, in the early episodes, you do see them directly attacking civilians, showing some elements of danger to their attacks. I feel that Zangief's Emperor was a great villain himself, but I thought he was very underdeveloped. But I feel the flaws of the Zangief are 100% made up for with another villain, Bosco, who appears in a small number of episodes, but yet contributes so much to the show. I feel that I could really hate him. He's incredibly strong, and yet he comes across as manipulative and as a coward. But in a realistic sense, he is being strategic, and he's accomplished his goals at the easiest cost. But when you first see him, you just want to yell at him that he's a pussy. And I think the biggest pussies can be the best villains at times, and Bosco's introduction makes him so convincing at it. And as strange as this is, as it is for me to say this, I think the acting is pretty decent. I know some may disagree, but I was really captivated by the quality of the performances of the cast. I have actually had students and co-workers who have met the actor who played Captain Marvelous. I think is I forgot his name. I think it was Ozawa Ryota, and they all tell me he's very shy in person, and yet Marvelous is full of confidence, loud, smart, optimistic, and kinds of come across as an asshole to strangers. At first, he has this, you know, we pirates don't care about you Earthlings attitude, and he has used reverse psychology. In the second or third episode, a kid steals a ranger key from him because he wants to fight the Zangief himself because of Marvelous's somewhat apathetic attitude toward the situation. You know, just to make a point that, you know, if the kid thinks he's worthy, Marvelous actually lets him assume the costume of a previous ranger, even though it could cost him his life. At first, you think Marvelous is being an asshole, but it just shows he wanted this person to learn the hard way on why he isn't capable of such a responsibility. And of course, as Uncle Ben would say, with great power there must also come great responsibility, and that was also the theme of that episode. I was also impressed by Ain's actress, in which she is formal and apologetic and compliments to her formal background, even though she's now supposed to be a pirate. Yes, even though their acting isn't what you expect on the level which you would, you know, see in, let's say, a Christopher Nolan movie, I say, you know, for the genre, it does a very good job. And with what I was disappointed with, which I will try to say indirectly due to potential spoilers, but I feel people who got into Sentai because of Power Rangers will understand what I was disappointed with, but as I stated before, I could forgive this for the right reasons, because this is about Super Sentai as a whole that originated from Japan and not about Power Rangers, particularly Mighty Morphin, which is just, you know, an American adaptation. I feel with this in mind, you know, I could understand why Gokaiger, for both story, franchise, and possibly studio political reasons, and why they couldn't feature what I wanted to see most. And people who have seen this series will have an idea of what I'm talking about. But I'll leave the story and characters at a 9.25 out of 10. The action is very creative, since it also uses the previous Super Sentai powers. Whenever the Gokaigers take their costumes, they also adapt to their fighting styles, and not just special moves, but, you know, fighting styles in the context of how they assume a stance, how they charge an opponent, and whether or not they prefer using weapons or plain old hand-to-hand combat. The quality of the choreography when the team is out of costumes is also just as exciting, and each character kind of shows their fighting styles, also reflects their personalities, which are both in and out of costume. Marvelous shows he has training and has had hard battle experience, and equally knows how to use both a sword and a gun. Joe shows more technical form, which will show how he learned his technique. Luca shows she's from the streets. Don, not having any previous combat training or experience, is more reliant on guns and is more defensive and hesitant when he's fighting, and he can be also playful. While Aim shows she's also a beginner with slower and less agile movement, and that she's willing to fight and is more reliant on counterfighting. And Guy, I'm assuming he has had some sort of martial arts training, probably has a black belt in either karate, aikido, or judo, or whatever. In the Gokaiger costumes, they are more reliant on using their weapons, and I like the many uses they have, particularly the swords and how they can, like, you know, swing them like nunchuck or spears or whatever. It's actually pretty cool. You know, like I said, the action, you know, because of its nature, goes through many creative elements. The only downside to it is I do feel it does lack some danger, but like I said, I think the creativity of how it's executed is what really makes this so appealing. The mech action is also pretty cool itself and uses some of the other Sentai mech elements. Plus, sometimes the grunts will be turned into giants, so they have to fight them off as well, which I think is really cool. Maybe some other Sentai series have done this. Keep in mind, I've only seen Jetman, Ranger, Die Ranger, Kaku Ranger, Car Ranger, and I'm currently watching Bioman and Mega Ranger, so I'm not sure if any other series has actually, made their grunts, who you remember as putties in, let's say, the first season of the Power Rangers turned into giants. Eventually, other combinations of the mechs will come in, like other Sentai series, and this series brings its own unique twist to it, which can redefine overkill. So I give the action a perfect 10 out of 10. The music, I have some complaints that will be trivial to some people, but I still enjoy it. I like the opening theme and how it immerses itself with the pirate gimmick of going on some epic adventure, having the time of life while treasuring friendship, etc. Yes, I know in anime and other forms of entertainment, especially in Japan, it's pretty fucking cliche, but I feel as long as some genius can keep on promoting these themes and keep it fresh, then it's okay, and I felt Gokaiger did a great job with it. I wish the show had more image songs in the same vein of Car Ranger, Die Ranger, and G Ranger, but hey, it's all good. What's also really cool is when the team finally learns how to use a teen's power, an instrumental version of that show's respective theme will be used, though I would prefer hearing the lyrical version. I was pretty upset when Jetman was featured, the theme of Jetman wasn't used at all. But, earlier in that episode you do see a guy singing the hook. But on the other hand, I did appreciate that the O-Ranger tribute episode used Niji Ito Crystal Sky, which is also a pretty cool song. The background music appropriately uses percussions in conjunction to the pirate gimmick and captures the intensity in relation to it, so nothing really to add on, and I give the music a 9 out of 10. Overall, all I can say, of course, is this is a very great series. But because of some elements in my personal opinion were a little bit missing, it kind of does feel incomplete to me. But I do have to be fair and look at the big picture as opposed to being a nitpicky fanboy. I feel that there are too many good qualities to this series that makes up for what I feel is trivial, but of course this flaw does stand out, but I feel the people who have seen Gokaiger and watched this series have an idea of what I'm talking about. They either feel me or they don't, but I'm cool either way. I don't want to sound like I'm complaining to a certain extent, but I do want to say this as a slight warning to those who want to watch Gokaiger with some of the same expectations that I did. But in the end, this show still offers its own great cast of characters with excellent action, and that is why I give Gokaiger an overall score of a 9.4 out of 10, and as for how they will adapt this to the Power Rangers universe, that I can't wait to see.